Fatui, the pale star edict, that highest of commands, has gone out. With it, the Fatui harbingers summoned back to dispatch to Nodcry. The people stare and wonder, for what purpose this arm banner of the star? Perhaps the question should be. So, the Pale Star Edict. The highest of command. So it is a command, it is an edict. Do something, I assume. To do what? So the Fatui are sent out on some kind of now it does say here the Fatui harbingers, not just Fatui members, have been summoned back to Nodcry. Who are we meeting in Nodcry? Who are we meeting there? Who are we confronting there? I'm excited. Okay. I wonder if it has to do with the mission that Child had been talking about during the Arlecchino quest. But yeah, I have multiple thoughts about this. I want to know what the Pale Star Edict is, like what kind of command that is. But also, it reminds me of how Child called Lumine. How Child called Lumine the Morning Star or something? Which was basically Venus, but before people realized it was Venus. And I wonder if that's somehow meant to be a connection to the traveler. I wonder if, especially with this question, for whom, right? I wonder if the Fatui harbingers are deliberately being sent to confront the traveler, right? Maybe I'm making too random, but I don't know. Okay, the ancient organization that has long defended Nodcry's freedom and peace and wild hunt attacks launched by the Abyss, now severely weakened from battles past. In face of new threats, none can say for sure new generation Ratniki remain able to carry out their mission. Okay, Ratniki, is that the organization of the Lightkeeper? Like it must be the same. Let's look up what Ratniki. Oh, okay. So it is a far-right Bulgarian nationalist organization. I see. Oh dear. Okay, I mean obviously they've just taken the name, but oh dear. All right. Oh guys, the discourse around this is not going to be fun. Oh, yo first. Please vet your naming choices a little bit better just to avoid things like this. I know that it's not like, or maybe it is. Oh dear. But it's interesting because they say that it's an organization that has long defended Nodcry's freedom and peace, right? Which sounds good. But then oh dear. Okay, this is a matter of interest to us, right? The Hexen Circle. So this is the symbol for the Hexen Circle. It's very eyebally. Located at the edge of the world, Nutcry has always been the stage where conflicts and dramas unfold one after another. How could the Hexen Circle possibly miss out on Golden? Looks like they're here to meddle. Looks like they're here to meddle. Okay. I wonder if we'll meet more actual Hexen Circle members through more than just their voices and stuff. I wonder if we'll actually get playable characters. I feel like they have teased Barbaloth so much that it's a pretty good option. I do think they'll save Alice for like a much later reveal, but I do feel like Barbaloth is a very like she's just been featured so regular, and getting to know more and more about her, that I feel like they've got to bring her. Ooh, treasure hoarders lore. Okay, that's an interesting. The treasure hoarders have since spread throughout the rest of Tibet, but their origin, it's actually treasure hoarders lore, in not Krai remains a little known fact. The great treasure left behind by Reed Miller, a legendary thief who yearned to create a world without boundaries, said to be buried. It's the One Piece! I feel like that's gonna be one of our missions, finding the One Piece. That's gonna be fun. Okay, okay. I'm excited for treasure hoarder lore. Maybe we'll get a playable treasure hoarder. That would be interesting, right? No land A. Alright, so this is what got me like really wanting to look at this on stream. Um, because I feel like, you know how each region has a mascot? Not really mascot, but you know, like a mythical type of creature that kind of is, you know, almost like the heart and soul of that region, right? Like in uh why can't I think of Liyue? In Liyue, it is like the Adeptus, and in Fontaine it's the Canids. Um and in Sumeru we have the Aranara slash like yeah uh slash like I don't know, whatever, like related to the Irminsul thing. So I am thinking that that's gonna be the Fae. That's gonna be the Fae or Fairy or Vila or whatever it is. Um, in Snezhnia, right? Because when I was reading this, it says the Fae who once followed, the first Cryo Archon, the Belisar, ruling the Northlands in their entirety. Though now shorn of their former glory, they still influence the nation in their own. One can only guess what path they will take as calamity draws. Now, this is interesting for so many reasons. I want to talk about this in a little more detail. So, first, again, I think the Fae are gonna end up being our, like, you know, oceanic yokai adeptus, like really important type of characters, which means we may get more Fae characters, right? Um, and it says that they are followers of the 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 first cryo archon, the Sar, right? And I suspected that the first archon was probably a man because of the Saritsa title. But oh, and like this kind of gives my original theory some legs. If the Fae are still following, you know, the Sar slash Saritsa, right? And it says here they still influence the nation in their own ways. And we can see from this image, right, these years. Who else do we know who has some influence in Snezhnia? Over Snezhnia even, with like pointed ears? Putinella. So I'm thinking he's a Fae. I'm thinking he's one of the Snowland Fae. It'll be very interesting. But it's so interesting that it says one can only guess what path they will take as calamity draws ever. Because it feels like there's almost a hint that they may not follow the current Sarita. Right? Is that like a hint that Puccinella will betray her? Is it a hint that he's looking out for some greater interest? I don't know. It's fascinating, right? It's intriguing. I want to know where that goes to. Now let's talk a little bit about my theory about the Sarita. So I have believed with the lines about how she is a god of love who has no love left to give, right? And how Child describes her as somebody who had to harden herself because of, you know, her past and what she's had to face. Um, my theory was that she loved the first Archon and probably died in the calamity. Maybe they were even married because the word Saritha, like, kind of has to have been derived from Sar. You know what I mean? Um, so so it just gives me a sense that it's not. Yeah, I feel like their relationship was a romantic. Um, and now her love has turned, right? Because in Japanese, the words that they use for, I think it's the shards, or the Shavada jade or something, to describe it, they use this very particular type of word, like kanji and words. Um, one meaning love, and the other meaning grief, right? And as we know from One Division, love and grief are basically just the same side or two sides of the same coin, right? So I feel like she has maybe had her love through this loss been so twisted that now she's become cold because of that grief. So that's gonna be interesting how it plays out when we meet her and we see what tensions are. I know some people are floating the theory that she's also being like a puppet or something. I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that some of these choices kind of are hers because I would like a character to be like genuinely so twisted and complex. Um, like that it would just be interesting, to see her because yeah, I don't know. I think she just has a lot of potential. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see more about Puccinella and about her and more Faye character. Last but not least, we've got the Clink Clank Crumb Kake craft shop. Okay. It began as a small workshop that a certain prodigy used to research world's best crumb kake machine. What is that? But over time, after the creation of many intricate inventions, it gained a new identity as a famous shop. Be sure to mind your manners when begging that genius, or whatever component she gives you might be liable to cough out a nasty krumkake. Who is this? Okay, so we've got a prodigy character coming in. That's a food. Wait, what? Apparently, I thought it was going to be some type of, I don't know, bolt or something, but it's food. A krumkake is a Norwegian cookie made of flour, butter, eggs, sugar, and okay, so okay, not what I was expecting at all. Looks yummy. Oh, it's a waffle cookie. Not Krai was a paradise gifted as a reward for fighting back the abyssal creature. At the end of the path, only the one who held the dark blade. He knew that deep within the lurked the foul force by which the wild hunt had been summoned forth. Just a little more, a little further, and he would have saved the land. Lost in his thoughts, he failed to notice that his body, already. Also, the moment it said here, deep within the forest lurked uh the foul force by which the wild hunt had been summoned forth. That's obviously the abyss, and that makes me wonder, like, how the fuck Child ended up in the abyss, right? So, um, like, he just accidentally wandered into this place. Oh, into this forest. Ooh, that's not good. Um, the request to strike had yet to be sanctioned, but he had already made up his mind. We journeyed this far to save innocence, set by merciless calamity. How could we stand by as those pitch black beasts devour the land, snatching away the lives of mothers and their. If this was what those in power called an order, then to hell with it. Thus was the foul miasma swept away by the northern. Just as the first light of dawn pierces the coal black cloud, its glow once more cast down upon the cerulean earth below. The war had ended, yet to the high tower no triumphant hero returned, only a criminal, the children he had risked all to save. Oh no. Oh no. I just realized this guy came upon this, miasma and wanted to, the warrant officer uh decided to go against order to save. But then he just delivered them to the Torre. Oh no. we know what the Tory does to. Okay, so sorry, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So the Fae were in positions of power. That really makes me think that like Puccinella being the mayor, right, a politician, is going to like the current leader of like the Fae or something. And also it also makes me wonder if the Saritsa was also a Fae or is a Fae, right? Because that wouldn't surprise me if the Winter Sar, the Belisar, ended up, falling in love with and marrying one of the Fae, for they believe that somewhere out there, the Lord of all Fae and erstwhile protector Snezhnia watched over. Okay, we've seen a couple of times now the Lord of all Fae reference, and now that I've kind of brought up that, like, I wonder if the Beli uh the Belisar was a Fae. I think that is him. I'm starting to think that is him. Because as mentioned, they talking about how they still believe like the Winter Star like would watch over them. So um and this, so yeah, I do think that like they were probably married. And yeah, he must have been a Fae himself, right? His familiars and followers were Fae, and I suspect he was the king of the Fae himself. And I do think the Saritsa was probably his lover or wife or whatever. Um, and so she is probably also a Fae. I also think Pulcinella is currently one of the high dignitaries. That's why he's got the point. Yet she was not the first outsider to set foot here, for long before the scions of the far north had woven their sweet dream of submergence, a voyager, whose sentient will traversed the. Is this another traveler? Is this a descender? Are these are these voyagers descenders? Once made a vow of reunion with the Lord of Dragons, who had yet to fallen into the darkness. Ibelung. Okay. Um, this passerby was a scribe, drifting through the vast void, duty bound, never to commune with primordial civilizations. Whoa! Wait! Guys, remember I had a crazy theory video that the traveler was a memo keeper? Is this not the description of a memo keeper? A scribe drifting through the vast void, duty bound, never to commune with primordial civilizations. Maybe it's not the traveler specifically, but maybe maybe one of the other descenders was a memo keeper. So he asked him to come with her. Yet thus did the proud dragon reply, "O friend from a distant world, I thank you for imparting these truths beyond the skies. But though in your eyes they may seem ignorant creatures to me, they are the very meaning of this universe. If the tide of oblivion must come, then let my bones be the bulwark that shields this realm." He the eggshell? Is his body the eggshell? Bear witness to the path I have chosen, for I shall lead my people onward. Onward to the stars! Is Tevat just another Amphorius? Is it stuck in a loop? Oh my god, guys, this is huge lore drops. What the fuck? Vesting her consciousness in the body of a youth, she walked among these corded animals, listening to their fervent and ever escalating debates. Wait, so she was like, so it was a love story. The first angel fell in love with the youth, broke this law, and then kind of cursed everybody. All right, cool. If the youth and the Voyager are this, oh my god. Okay, so here's what I understand from this artifact set. I'm going to summarize, right? It seems that a long time ago, during Ibelung's reign, a memo keeper warned him what was to come, but he chose to stay. So she left, and when she returned, this memo keeper, she saw that Tevat had been taken from him. She decided to, I guess, explore, took over the body of a youth, and he went down, basically seduced the first angel. And the first angel basically gave him a gift that doomed all of her own kind to see. Oh my god. That's my understanding of this so far. I hope I summarized that correctly. Um wow, that is messy.